Hey everyone, it's Gina. I am back with the latest BeadingSchool Academy Fuchsia subscription box. It's been a while since I've shared this one, and it is one of my absolute favorite subscriptions, especially if you are interested in learning more about bead weaving and bead embroidery, and you're also looking for a super fun and supportive community of other beaders from around the world to enjoy your contents with. So if we open up the package this month, we'll see what our theme is, and we're going to dig into the contents. And keep in mind, I have the link to the subscription below the video in the description section. So if you'd like to sign up, you can go ahead and click on that and find out all the details about the special things that you get along with the materials in the box. There's all sorts of different perks that go along with these boxes, and they come out on a bi-monthly basis. So every 2 months you get a really gorgeous selection of hand-picked items directly from Europe in the Crystal Valley. So high quality items as well, and a range of things that you can put together in projects along with tutorials that the team have put together, so you're not stuck not knowing what to do with the contents. They have you covered with all sorts of projects, and I'm going to try to come up with something as well. We'll just have to see. So you get a little gift along with your package. I got a pair of ear wires, this time around in the gold. And our theme this month is called Everlasting Kiss, which is based on a beautiful and very interesting painting by Klimt. And there's going to be more about that work of art, I'm sure, along with the BeadingSchool Academy information and all sorts of fun projects that center around this theme throughout the next couple of months. So first of all, I'm noticing a lot of the gold, which is right on par with that painting and the time period that came out, if you look and find out a little bit more about that. And look at all the things we're about to dig into. There's layers of these little bags of findings and beads, all sorts of treasures we're going to look at and place out all together on our bead mat. So let me get myself together and we'll start to look at these contents close up one at a time. Okay, so the first items I'm pulling out are all the seed beads. I thought we could take a look at those because, you know, they're all bagged up and packaged very neatly. And we do have a range and a good assortment of different sizes. And additionally, they include some of the, let's see, we've got the Duracoat Miyuki galvanized Delica beads. We've got the 11-Os. We also have the larger 10-Os this time around that coordinate. We've got a selection of round seed beads as well, also in the Duracoat galvanized by Miyuki. So all really high quality brands to play with, which is what you want when you're doing these bead weaving projects that are a lot more precise. We've got another color of Delicas here as well, this time in a matte, lighter, kind of neutral. This is called the opaque bone color. Also a 3mm bugle bead in the gold color with the silver lining, so those are a little bit more shimmery. And then these are absolutely gorgeous. Another selection of Delicas. These are in a 24 karat gold iris. So they're really playing up the gold theme this month from that particular work of art, which is really inspiring and fun to learn more about. And I think what I'm going to do, because it's kind of hard to display these in the bags, and I just love having everything laid out. I think I'm going to pour the seed beads in one of these ceramic dishes, and we can have that out as we continue to look at the contents and go through this journey of this box through the various crystals and the other findings that we see that you know, it's hard to find the things that they package up in these collections, you know, at your local store. You're probably not going to find them. So we have a lot to take a look at, and I'm going to start out by just separating these out. So give me just a moment. All right, as you can see, we've got 8 different seed bead selections here in the various sizes and shades and finishes too in the Miyuki line. Really like those size 11-0 with that iris finish, and they've got a bit of a like berry and midnight blue combination. Those are really pretty. And also these deep dark brown or bronze, very shiny size 15-0s to work with. To support some of those as well, they have included 3 sizes of pearly white round glass beads in 3 different sizes. So we've got 2, 3, and 4 millimeter white pearls, basically, these glass rounds to work with. You know, those will be useful in so many different projects, and I don't think I need to take those out. We will take a look at some of the other items up close, though. I do want to show you, these are really sticking out to me. This first bag here of the 10 millimeter low cut glass cabochons in Sphinx Laser Light. Those are eye-catching. Wow, those are really cool. They have an interesting domed shape. Let me see if I can put one on its side there. Different than the typical little chatons and stones that you usually see, kind of with a more rounded back. Comes to a very, very slight point in the back. Got the domed glass. So really beautiful and sparkly, and just that combination of that screaming lime green and lemon yellow, you know, contrasting with some of those cooler blue, deeper shades around the outside. And they have a lot of sparkle and shimmer because of all those tiny little facets that go around the entire dome on all sides. Beautiful, very sparkly, and you know, add a little bit of extra color, but still a lot of golden shine to go along with this palette. And then one of the other items that's really standing out to me at this moment, and there's just so much to look at, it's really a treat to see all these things together, is a 22.5 millimeter triangle embrace cabochon in jet bronze. That's really a unique and very artistic piece. It's actually got a little weight to it, and it's got that geometric pattern. If you take a look at the painting, which had to refresh myself on what that was, and found out a lot of information actually, even on YouTube, if you just search up the Kiss painting by Klimt. Really interesting, you know, Art Nouveau style, where you're getting into some of the geometric shapes in these specific patterns, clusters of patterns, and, you know, some of the harder edges with some of the softer, you know, more round swirls and things like that that come together. So it reminds me of some of the patchwork arts and crafts looking fabric that he was rendering in his painting. Beautiful. And then there's a look at the back. Just a solid black back in beautiful shape. All right, so let's see, what do we have next? We've got some other gorgeous crystals. This is a 10 by 12 millimeter Preciosa Fancy Octagon cabochon in crystal AB. That is a treat for the eyes. I love this shape. I love how it's cut. It's definitely, oh, it's so beautiful. It's like an emerald cut. And it's just reflecting and reflecting. It almost looks like, you know, an endless mirror inside. It could just go on forever. So maybe that was one of the inspiring items for the Everlasting Kiss theme. It just could go on forever. And look how sparkly that is with those cuts in that crystal and those flat reflective areas. And also, of course, we have the AB, which gives us the extra special rainbow of colors and iridescence. I just have to keep moving it because it's just so sparkly. And then there's a look at the back with its beautiful enamel in great shape. So we have one piece of this. I would love to see this also in some other colors. We'll have to check out the Beading School shop and see what other options they have, if this maybe isn't the only one. Or pick up another one if you want a pair of earrings to make with that. But that is a really beautiful gemstone looking jewel cabochon right there. All right, let's see. We also have a bag containing some 9.5 by 15 millimeter pear glass pendants, this time in the color jet. These remind me of obsidian. They have that type of appearance with their jet black opaque glass and kind of in that sharper teardrop shape that you see sometimes with the stones. These have the faceting as well, and we have 4 of these, so you really do have enough if you wanted to turn these into a set, maybe a matching necklace and earrings or something along those lines, or include multiples of these, dropping down from a necklace at the front. And they are a great contrast too, very classic and elegant to go along with a lot of our gold that we have in this theme. All right, so we have a few more crystals as well, but let me switch it up. I'm gonna look at our 2 bags of fire polish beads. We see a lot of the check glass faceted round fire polish come in these Beading School Academy boxes, as well as kind of, I'll call them our supporting beads, kind of like the seed beads, just a really classic shape that you find in many different patterns. We've got a bag containing the 3 millimeter rounds. These are in the crystal aurum half. So you have half of a very shiny metallic gold on the surface, and then the other half is left a little bit more transparent and kind of a deep, shadowy, dark gray, midnight type of tone in that glass. And then for our larger fire polish faceted rounds this month, we have the 4 millimeter in matte dark bronze. So another metallic and neutral, but something a little bit different, adding a little bit more of that brownish bronze shade. It's a little bit warm and kind of matte. And let's see what else we have. We have, looking at some of these bicones, looks like there's 3 bags of bicones this month in this package. We've got the 3 millimeter in the black diamond, AB 2 times, and I will definitely take these out. We also have in the crystal aurum full 2 different sizes of that beautiful reflective gold. And we've got that in the 3 and 4 millimeter. Plenty of those to work with that golden coating all around the entire surface. Let's see, so the 3 millimeter Preciosa black diamond AB 2 times, which when I see AB 2 times, I know that's going to be really sparkly, really sparkly. And we're going to have a rainbow of colors. Depending on what's underneath, it can be a little bit more subtle, which this kind of is. It's a little bit more shadowy. And you can see there are some shades of blue, like cooler tones showing up alongside of some of that golden that shows up alongside and underneath the surface, and sometimes more around those whole locations, which is simply beautiful. So these are all Preciosa, which is excellent in terms of its quality, which goes along with everything else that we see Beading School offer. This is also such a wonderful way to sample items that you can find in the Beading School shop, because they've got also a wide range of other items besides what you see coming in these subscription packages, and all sorts of tutorials and projects that go along with those. So it's just fun to even browse around and see what they have. And a lot of times they just have things that I've not seen in other bead shops, especially because of their proximity and where they're located. So it's a real treat. Next up, we have the 8x10mm teardrop charms in golden yellow AB. They're sunny and bright. Oh, wow. So we see that AB coating show up in certain areas, and where it isn't, you even see it coming through on the other side in a subtle way. You have all those facets that really allow the light to shine through, and it's just gleaming, that golden, lemony, warm color. They have a sharper point at the top. They're kind of a wide base, rounded teardrop shape, and then a hole that goes through that top area as well. So another one of those items that we have potentially enough for a set, or using those to drop down from another type of a gorgeous beaded component of some type. All right, we've got a few other crystals, it looks like, in settings. So these usually contain like the sew-on settings, which are ready to go, meaning they have the hole placement already in there, and you don't have to fashion any type of a bezel around these beads because you can just string right through those settings. And these all have, it looks like, the kind of the golden setting. Let's start with these first. We have the 3x7mm Preciosa Fancy Baguettes in black diamond with the gold claws. All right, so these in that deeper shadowy gray, you can see the thinner rectangular shape and how they are cut really cleanly, and they're in there nice and snug. Of course, they're Preciosa, so we know they're going to be good. There's the hole locations running parallel through the base, ready to be strung into a piece. All right, so let me go with these larger stones. Looks like these are the 10x14mm rectangle glass cabochons. These are in frozen matte white with gold claw. And they have these packaged up well in those extra spacers, so they're not just tossed into the plastic bags. I do like how they take that into account. These are a very classic looking stone. Not as flashy. You know, you've got that shine coming from the crystal, but you have the solid white from the back that shows directly through these stones. And they are a beautiful classic pairing with black and gold and all the things that we've seen below. So set of two with the holes there in the setting, ready to sew on. And then our other selection of sew-on crystals being a bag of the 6mm Preciosa Chaton Montes. These are the crystal AB in gold colored setting. So this being a smaller size Chaton, which is excellent that they come in the settings, so we don't have to fashion a bezel, and they're ready to go with the hole located in that base. Look how shiny and sparkly these are as well. You could have a whole row of these going in a design around a band, maybe for a bracelet or something, or even a gorgeous collar necklace. That would be beautiful too. So elegant. And, you know, just a little bit of that extra flashiness in these little crystals with that pink and blue and gold that shows up, but just really depending on how they're facing, how the light is catching those. Alrighty, moving on, the last bag, it looks like, of beads is this one. So this is our only selection, it looks like, unless I missed anything, are the only selection of multi-hole check glass beads, which these are really neat. These are the Miyuki Tilas in Valentinite matted. Valentinite, I don't know, but you get the idea. So this is kind of a mixture, neutral, matte, black, and bronze. And that bronzy shade, which actually there's some subtle variations, and it also depends on how the light is hitting those too. But those have their own variation. They have a little bit of a sheen on that side where you see the color. And then on the other side, they are just a solid matte black. So I'm thinking you could even make something reversible with these. That would be really interesting, an opportunity to use something like this in that way. Or you could use these in a specific way where you have some of the black ones facing up and some of the other ones facing up, creating its own unique design. Or have them random, whatever you want to do. You got options here, but these are the regular size, square-like shaped Japanese glass Tila beads. And I did miss a couple of bags of beads, but you know what? They were bright, shiny gold, and they were looking really similar to some of those findings that I have left that I can't wait to dig into because they look so unique. But anyway, we've got the 2mm True 2 fire polish beads. These are in crystal 24 karat gold plated. Now I've got that Bruno Mars song in my head. I'm not going to sing it. You know which one. All right. Here's our little baby tiny 2mm faceted fire polish round beads in the 24 karat magic gold plating. So shiny. They really look like a fine jewelry type, you know, good quality gold. I don't know. You know what I mean. And there's a lot of these. And it's another shape for us to work with too, alongside the 3 and 4mm fire polish and some of our other shapes that have been included. Another wonderful supporting shape selection as well. And also in the box, we have the 3mm Preciosa faceted round beads in crystal Aurum full. More gleaming gold, full reflective surface, faceted rounds, like the bicones, just in a rounded shape by Preciosa. Okay, so now we have all of our findings, which are currently bagged up nice and neat, but to save a little bit of time, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and take them out of their bags, and then we'll take a look at these items close up because I'm seeing some really unique details. Be right back. All right, so a couple of the more basic items to show you first. We have a 1.5mm by 45cm simple chain with lobster clasp in the gold color. So you can see that clasp is included on one end and a larger jump ring on the other. It's a very dainty and more fine chain. And we also have included a 6x17mm Circle of Love toggle clasp, which is really cute. And the same on both sides, pretty simple, delicate, but also very sturdy and has a shiny and smooth coating. And something else that I'll call a little bit more on the the basic side, but great that they included, is a bag containing 2 of the 10 by 12 millimeter claws for the octagon cabochons. These are in a golden color. And you can notice that we received one of those cabochons this month, and we do have 2 claws here. So if you did want to pick up another one, we have that set of 2. You could turn those into a pair of earrings, just saying. But that would set right in to the setting, and you could carefully use a special tool or carefully use some pliers to work that in the setting and close it up. It's a beautiful base for that very special stone. And then we also have, this is really cool. I love this for the theme, kind of Art Nouveau, goes along with the, you know, art and, you know, the whole theme. We have the art theme. So we've got this like framed out filigree antique bronze rectangular item here, which is really fun. You could play that up too, along with the theme, or you could keep it simple, have something simple framed out and hanging inside if you wanted to do that, and all sorts of other openings around the edges too. It is sturdy. I don't feel like I could bend it or anything. I don't have anything like this, nor have I received anything like this. It just feels really special and right on point with this theme. So I love that. Next up, we've got a couple of, I think these are the Blossom Charms, they're called, and they have a gorgeous cubic zirconia inside, that rhinestone that is clear and very sparkly inside that 4-petaled shape. If that is, actually no, that is the 9x9 Kiss of Petals spacer bar, gold plated. So those are a spacer bar, and as you can see, they have those openings going along inside and underneath that crystal area and underneath that top. So when you actually go to use these, you're going to see the entire effect of the surface and that beautiful 4-pointed shape. So there's 2 of these included. I'll put those up here. A lot of these findings just feel like their own little treasures. So let's see, we've got ear studs, and then I think this is the, I just love this, 16.5 by 28 millimeter Blossom Charm in the gold color, very smooth and shiny, and has that crystal teardrop, larger shape there, right in the middle of those petals, and situated in there, encased in the smooth gold too, safe and sound, with a loop at the top. Great for hanging that on a beaded piece. We also have a couple of these Polaris star ear studs. They have a dark blue rhinestone in the very center, and they've got a, see, 6-sided type of starburst shape with the little tiny burst there in between, and little bitty crystals going on around the whole surface of them too. And there's the post finding, and a little tiny loop on the back for an attachment point. These are in really great shape. And then let's see, let's take a look at the 10.5 by 19 millimeter. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. Leafy Whisper connector. That's just stunning. Look at that icy teardrop chunk of a crystal with the faceting and the leaf detail with all those little tiny crystals that are encased in that leaf. Almost feels like it's just kind of floating on the surface. But it's very sturdy. Look at that setting. And I love how it's quite open too, so that allows a lot of the light to pass through. Even at the back, it's quite open and kind of sits up in the setting. It's substantial, but still very delicate. And that loop at the top. And that brings us to, we're getting towards the bottom. We've had so much to look at. Let's see, a 10 by 16 millimeter heart lock lobster clasp. That's cool. That's beautiful. You almost don't want to put that in the back of a necklace because it's so pretty and has so many of those little shiny crystal details that are studded all around both sides of that lobster clasp, which is pretty substantial. The gold is very bright and shiny. And I could see that being even used in a way, you know, as a pendant that is more focal. Something could be done with that for sure. It's got my mind working. All right, so we're down to just a couple of bags here. We've got the 3.5 millimeter 2-hole small leaf spacer beads in the gold color. These are so tiny and delicate with their 2-leaf shape. A little hole there going through. Those are so unique. Something that I don't haven't really seen. And I could see those kind of going on either side of maybe a pointy crystal of some type, framing that out. And then finally, last but not least, we have a 5.5 by 16 millimeter leaf of kiss pendant with open jump ring in the gold color. This also has some itty bitty crystals encased in those leaves. And you can see if I turn that to the side how this would work as a bail, and think of that alongside one of these black glass pendants and how you could insert the pendant in such a way. Look how classic and elegant that is, just like that. And even that on the dainty gold chain, and you could have something all ready to go without adding a single other thing. So such a really classic, beautiful, and elegant. I keep saying those, but those are really, I think, good descriptors for what we have here in the Klimt's Everlasting Kiss theme, which is so full of our shiny, sparkly gold. And, you know, you have some hints of additional color, especially with some of these interesting and unique crystals. But even if you just left it neutral, you have a palette that goes with lots of things. And you have the addition of the white pearls. That's very classic. Also the jet black. And we've got all sorts of different supporting shapes when it comes to the Preciosa bicones and our check glass faceted fire polish. And so many inspiring types of findings that you just don't see commonly, you know, at your local craft store. And some of those things that are kind of little pieces of art on their own that can inspire a piece, at least for me. That's how I feel about them. We've got our focal pendant with the triangles, which is just so interesting. And, you know, it's just a really inspiring array of items. And like I said, when you sign up for the subscription, it's not just about the materials. There's really so much more with this one. And it's really unique what they offer. And like I said, if you go to their website, you'll see the whole list of everything that comes with your subscription every 2 months. You have so many opportunities to connect with other beaders, and also many projects that have been especially created, not just by Erica and the Beading School team specifically, but by other designers who also receive these packages and have fun playing with them and sharing their beautiful jewels, as they call them. And you know, you can get as creative as you want, keep things simple like that classic black pendant with the little bail, or really go crazy and do a larger scale bead embroidery. But it's a wonderful way to connect with others using these high quality materials. And you know, having different articles and information and story times, and I could go on and on about all the wonderful things that's offered along with the Beading School Academy boxes. But also, I just want to mention too, this is of course the Fuchsia level, which is the larger size. They also offer a turquoise level, so that one is one step below. It does have some of these contents included, just not 100% of everything you see here, but they also come with their own perks to that one too. It's just a little bit less costly every 2 months. So I highly recommend them. I couldn't wait to dig back into Beading School Academy again. I hope to have a project that goes alongside these materials, but we'll just have to wait and see. So I hope you'll stay tuned, and feel free to share down below in the comments if anything stands out to you, especially, or what you think of this month's Beading School Academy package. Anything else you'd like to say? Also, be sure to like and subscribe. I hope to see you all again real soon. Until next time, have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.